So, good morning. My name is Eric Kline. I'm responsible for our business at Citrix here in Western and Southern Europe. I've actually been with Citrix for 16 years, which makes me a bit of a dinosaur, I suppose, in this industry. But the last 5, you may have guessed, I'm from the US originally. The last 5 have been in Europe. So 3 years in Switzerland, and now the last 2 living here in Amstelveen. So my Dutch is not quite perfect enough to present in Dutch this morning, so I hope you'll forgive my English. But I'm very excited to be here with our good partners, ICT partners, as well as many other players in the ecosystem to talk about digital transformation, business transformation, and a lot of the content that I plan to discuss today is actually fresh from our annual user conference called Synergy, which happened only about 2 weeks ago in the US. So I'm really excited to be able to bring some of that new content, hear from what is our new Chief Executive Officer and his vision for where Citrix will be going in the future, and ultimately our goal, which is to help you say yes to digital transformation and to really transform the way IT and business work together. So our view of the world is one that's really being shaped by 4 big megatrends. And I was really happy to see Giorgio's slides earlier, because I think our perspective on the world is very similar to what IDC talked about. So we see really 4 big megatrends that are pushing us towards this agenda of digital transformation. So one is obviously cloud. And a few years ago, people may have questioned, well, is cloud for real? What is cloud? But now research has shown that 90% of organizations are using some form of public cloud solution. Maybe not completely public cloud, but in some way or another, using the public cloud as part of their IT solution. So I think the question about whether cloud is real or not is certainly put to the side now. We also see that the world is absolutely becoming more and more mobile. It's not the case that work is done in an office at a desk anymore. And certainly Citrix solutions have been one that have moved very closely into the mobile space and make sure that we can take work to the place where it's best done. Internet of Things, I think at this point, and this number continues to change, so 30 billions and billions of devices, clearly more devices than people are connected to the internet. And this is really a huge source of data that we need to use to intelligently and quickly respond to business changes, demand changes, et cetera. And so analyzing this data, using it in an automated fashion inside of our data centers, inside of our cloud solutions, this would be the 4th thing that's absolutely changing the way that IT needs to think about the world and the way it's transforming. And so a lot of analysts will collectively call these 4 trends kind of the 4th industrial revolution. And so at Citrix, we are really trying to position ourselves to work closely with all of you, our partners, our customers, to make this a productive change and really unlock the potential that comes from the power of these megatrends. And I guess in one way, the digital transformation sounds like something very simple to accomplish. We can't live in the world of business, the world of work that we had in the past. But it's also not the case that we can just say, okay, let's go to the cloud, transform to a digital process, and good night. We'll see you later. It's done. This is hard. It's not an easy thing to digitally transform your business, to digitally transform your business processes. And this matters. The fact that this is hard is a big problem. And in fact, one way that we can look at this problem is as an economic one that affects the economic livelihood, the well-being of our children and future generations. So if you look at productivity growth, just in the whole, over the past several decades, we've seen a fantastic increase in output. So productivity measures output that's produced economically per unit of input of work, hours worked that we put into the system. And you can see over the decades, we've had a really nice increase. The age of the internet certainly has had a huge impact on productivity and how we work. But something really scary has shown up to economists in the past few years. And that is, since the year 2007, we've kind of been put in a time machine and sent back to the 1970s in terms of how quickly we've been able to grow productivity. And this is a really big problem. It's measured to be $2.7 trillion in terms of a gap of business productivity that we need to unlock. And if we don't unlock it, the prospects for increasing wages, the prospects for improvements in GDP, the prospects for wage gaps, all these concepts that are socially important to us as a planet could be a big problem. So we need some heroes. We need IT to really think about how am I going to tackle and unlock this productivity gap. And our perspective on the challenge is that one huge contributor to not being able to get the productivity we need out of our systems is complexity. And so, for sure, many of the processes that you run as organizations were probably, unless you're a very new company, probably they were created, invented, designed in the last century. And these really do weigh down the organization and make it difficult to make this move into a new digital process, into a new digital business. And so when the business comes to you as IT professionals and says, hey, I have this new use case. I have truck drivers who need access to real-time data, changes in inventory, or I need to be very agile and change their route in real time. In many cases, IT has to come back with an answer of no. And it's not possible, and because we have this database, and because we have this system, and we have these security concerns, and so we get stuck where the industry and consumers are trying to push digital transformation forward, but IT is stuck and kind of the bad guy in many of these conversations. And so we would really like to help everyone break out of that cycle of wanting to move forward, but being still stuck and weighed down by legacy process and legacy design in terms of our systems. So really, when Citrix, and we wanted to re-articulate our vision this year in terms of where we're going as a company. Many of you know last year was a big year of change for us, changes in leadership, changes in product portfolio. And so really our vision is now one where we are helping all of our customers and partners securely connect people, organizations, and things to accomplish the incredible. So we want you to think of Citrix as whenever you have a question, how do I get this data, this file, this application? How can I securely deliver that to a person who needs it in the field or someone who wants to be more productive and faster and more agile? We want you to think of Citrix as the company that really creates that world and is providing that level of technical services in terms of making that a reality. How can we really securely connect the world in this way? And we think this really captures the DNA. Many of you may have worked with Citrix for many years in the past. We think it really captures that DNA of what Citrix has been known for for a long time, virtualization, remote applications, secure file sharing, and really captures that, but then projects it forward to where the industry is going in the future. So we're really happy about this new vision and being able to articulate it to all of you. And ultimately, the idea is to be able to change the no and to be a business that enables yes for all of you, and to say yes to digital transformation and yes to your business partners and yes to unlocking this productivity. And it's a yes across any of these challenges, any kind of use case you can think of, whether it's in healthcare and you're a physician that needs to quickly access information and move from floor to floor and have real impact on patient outcomes and saving lives and saving limbs, and governments who are trying to save costs on healthcare in the world. Or it can certainly be, I've talked to many companies where they're trying to transform their workplace to be attractive to millennials who are entering the workplace. Because when you bring in a 20-something-year-old university graduate and they see everyone sitting at maybe the old version of the desk that we saw before and people working on paper and a stapler, this isn't really an inspiring or an exciting workplace for young talent. So it's a competitive advantage to recruit and to have a workspace that's open and collaborative and flexible. So the power to business of having this type of a digital and a flexible workplace, as well as the power and the economics and the savings of running business processes with your customers that are more digital and more agile, is really phenomenal. And that really helps explain, wow, $2.7 trillion, that's a huge potential impact that we could have. So the way we plan to accomplish this vision is via this new strategy, and that is to be the best at integrating these three elements and deliver them as a service, and to deliver them in this kind of Citrix way that you've heard over the years, anytime, any place, over any type of connection, and from any cloud, hosted in your private cloud, in a public cloud, a combination of the two. And so apps and data and network, we believe, are the three places that we can really add value and help give you the flexibility to digitize your business and to move your business to the cloud, or to decide to stay in your own private cloud for whatever business reasons you have. We want to give you that freedom, but really focus on these three elements that are really the core competency that Citrix has had for the past decades. Now, for those of you who may know Citrix for quite a while, the way these translate into our core product lines, we have the Zen family of products, so Zen App, Zen Desktop, Zen Server. We have ShareFile, which provides secure document sharing and provides them to any platform, so you can quickly get. It's great to have your apps and it's great to have your device, but if I can't get to my documents easily on my mobile device, it's not going to be much use. Applications without data is pretty useless endeavor. And then the network, which is key for securing this. So many people are holding back on going to the cloud or holding back on making these types of digital transformation changes because they're very uncomfortable with the security implications of these things. So NetScaler as a security play, as well as an accessibility, availability play, is a huge piece of our product strategy as well. And then, as you've come to expect, we should be able to deliver on the one side, any type of data or application, but you should also have the freedom to run it in any cloud you wish, or in no cloud, on-premise in your own private data center. And so we continue to be about providing that flexibility to move into the digital age in your own pace, because we don't know how quickly you want to move, but in a secure way, and to do it in a way that meets your particular business needs. So I think that's one of the really core elements that you'd recognize from Citrix, which is us not believing we have the answer for how you need to do your business. And we've always been about providing freedom of choice, been about enabling this concept of anyness. And that spirit is certainly one that we take with our partnerships, many of which I see here today, HP, Nutanix, run through the list. Everyone out in the lobby there we've done work with probably previously. But without a doubt, probably the most important partnership that we've had over the years has been with Microsoft. It's been a natural evolution because of our close work with providing first Windows desktops as well as Windows applications. We've now expanded over the years to other platforms and other types of applications like mobile applications. And I think through that journey, the relationship with Microsoft has had, like any relationship, ups and downs. And so we've veered a little bit away from Microsoft for some period of time. But there's been a really strong move back towards Microsoft, and I wanted to especially share that with you here today. We had the privilege at our conference 2 weeks ago of having Satya Nadella present to the entire conference about what is happening with the renewed Citrix-Microsoft relationship. Our new CEO is an ex-Microsoft employee, so that's certainly helping a lot. And it was really great, and I think inspirational to our customers as well, to hear that wow, this is a strong force to be reckoned with between these two organizations, and the power and innovation they can bring to virtualizing applications, desktops, data, delivering them to the mobile, using the Azure cloud. So we've got a video here from Satya that it's the same one that was showed 2 weeks ago, and I'd like to share that with you here today before we continue as well. So if we could roll the video, please.
Hi, Kirill, and hello to everyone attending the Synergy conference. At Microsoft, our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. Core to this mission is fostering a strong partnership with companies like Citrix. Our partnership has always been founded on how we can empower our customers to be successful. We're thrilled to see how Citrix is delivering new value to businesses across the Microsoft platform, Azure, Office 365, and Windows 10. By selecting Azure as its strategic cloud platform, Citrix customers will have access to the full compute power, intelligence, and scale of the Microsoft cloud. Citrix is also helping our mutual customers accelerate the adoption of Office 365 and Windows 10, enabling them to easily collaborate from anywhere on the most secure and the most productive platform for business. And we're working hard to empower IT professionals to protect the company data across the cloud and on-premise applications while delivering great productivity experiences for employees with new integrations in Microsoft Enterprise Mobility Suite. I'm truly excited by the work that the two companies are doing together to bring these new innovations to market and help organizations of all sizes transform and seize the opportunities ahead. Thank you very, very much.
Cool. So the three, I would say, headline things that were behind the nice executive corporate speak that always happens in these partnerships was number one, you can expect to see a more aligned product roadmap between Intune from Microsoft and their EMM solution, which is EMS, and also our Zen Mobile and NetScaler product lines. And this has been an area of slight overlap and confusion in the past, but now the two teams are really focusing on identifying who can do the most in terms of adding value in which ways as we work together in the future. So a much more structured roadmap and relationship there jointly between the organizations. The second item is integrating the identity service so that NetScaler, which I talked about, securing the access into many of these solutions, will now have improved identity integration into the Azure cloud. So again, providing not only the security, but a more seamless user experience and helping you feel comfortable about what is usually a trade-off. User convenience and security usually move counter to each other, but we're looking to bring those both to a higher level. And then lastly, perhaps the most exciting one is, as you may be aware, running Windows 10 in the cloud as a VDI solution has had historically some licensing barriers, cost barriers associated with that. And we've worked with Microsoft to eliminate those and for us actually to work with them as the first provider of desktop as a service on the Azure cloud for Windows 10. So many more details to come specifically about when and how those come to market. But this is just, I think, the first chapter in what is going to be a stronger and an evolving relationship with Microsoft as we really help make this digital workspace real. So, this is kind of our worldview, our product and ecosystem view, the partnership that we see with Microsoft and with you as our customers. And so you may be asking, well, how does cloud fit into this besides the Azure concepts that you just heard? And cloud has always meant a few different things to different people. For us, this is an evolving picture at Citrix, I'll be honest. But it's interesting to know we have already many technologies that are either hosted in and available to you in the cloud, or are services running in the cloud that you can use for your on-premises deployment. So for example, the Lifecycle Management Service is a tool that helps you update, upgrade, automate the maintenance of your Citrix environment by inspecting and looking at what you have, identifying possible issues that might be coming up because of your configuration. And so the cloud is enabling us to, number one, be able to help our customers in those important ways, but also to collect anonymized data, assuming you opt into this option, to share so that we're all learning about what's working well across the world and what's not working well across the world. And then for sure, we do offer many of our product lines around mobility and our apps and desktops. Those can be hosted in any cloud of your choosing and managed without infrastructure that you need to run on-premise. You can run all that infrastructure in the cloud if you so desire, or in whatever combination you're comfortable with. Some documents you want to stay private in your own private cloud. Others, or other business processes, are less sensitive and you want to move them to the public cloud. That's fine, that's perfect. And that's really our perspective on cloud. We want to enable you to get there as quickly as you want, but not force you to move if you're not comfortable to do so. So it's always fun to talk about cloud, but I wanted to bring one case study from a customer, because it's always great to hear customers who are using the cloud and what their experience is like. This is a public housing authority in the US, but I think the lessons that we learn here can be applicable around the world. For sure, you know, getting vulnerable people into housing and trying to do it in an economic way is a huge mission for any government. And if they can drive down costs and deliver great services while at the same time accomplishing that mission, changing people's lives by making sure they have good housing, I think that's really shows the impact, again, that this type of a digital workplace can have. And when you have the cloud as the delivery mechanism underneath, the type of agility that it produces. So if we could roll the video, please.
LMHA provides housing opportunities for 17,000 individuals within the city of Toledo and Lucas County.
The reason Lucas took the approach of going after a cloud-first strategy is because we recognized that we needed to be disaster-proof. We wanted to get out of the hardware business, and we needed servers and server management and support that we couldn't support in-house. As we were looking at the Workspace suite, we noticed that they had this new offering called the Citrix Cloud, and that offered us exactly what we wanted. It was going to give us Zen App, Zen Desktop, Zen Mobile, all rolled into one, and we felt like that the deployment options and the rapidity at which we could deploy it would be a lot faster with backing from Citrix. And we're so glad that we selected the Microsoft Azure Cloud, because its interface and the partnership that we've seen with Citrix has been phenomenal. Now that we're in the Citrix Cloud, on any device, we can run our operations. If something happens to our building, heaven forbid, but if it does, we can deploy and be out on the street helping the community much more rapidly than we ever could, and Citrix is what's going to allow us to do that.
I want our community and our residents to benefit from our utilization of Citrix Cloud and know that they're safe. Know that they can provide us pertinent data about themselves and know that it will be protected. What's the best product out there? Time and time again, we came back to Citrix Cloud and figured out that this was the way that we needed to go and the way that we could protect ourselves and our residents.
So a real-life example in terms of the impact of the cloud. And as you may have heard, we've rebranded what used to be called Citrix Workspace Cloud to simply Citrix Cloud, to reflect the fact that workspaces are certainly one service that we provide from the cloud, but we have a whole host of services that need not be necessarily associated with the workspace that are also being provided. So that's been rebranded as the cloud, and our goal is to evolve this space of your workspace, your business being delivered as a service from the IT organization, from the cloud that you prefer. It's sometimes confusing because you hear the name Citrix Cloud and you might think Citrix now has many data centers and we're running our own cloud And does that mean I give you my applications and you run it inside your Citrix cloud? And that's not what the Citrix cloud is. You can choose to run your workloads and buy your server and storage capacity inside of the Azure cloud, the AWS cloud, the SoftLayer. You can make your choice, or in your own data center. What we want to provide with our cloud offering is the orchestration and the freedom to tie those together into your infrastructure. So the Citrix components, for sure, you can scale up and run inside of our cloud. The infrastructure to deliver and move the connections between these places. But we're not hosting the applications or running the applications. You can choose to place those in the place that's best for you. So we want to be, I guess the example you might consider is kind of the glue that's helping you to seamlessly connect all these things together. And the reason why this is hard, enterprises struggle, is because I like to think of applications, they move at different speeds. So some of you probably have mainframe applications or terminal emulation applications that you've been using for 10s, 20s, 30s of years. And the idea that you're going to transform and turn this into a mobile application could happen, but it's going to take a long time. In the 90s, everyone thought Citrix would die because all the apps were going to be web apps. And all we needed were a browser. And then if we had a browser, I could run any of my applications. Well, it's now 2016, and I still see a lot of native 32-bit Windows applications that have not been turned to the web. So you have these really legacy apps that move quite slowly and are often business critical to the enterprise. You have productivity applications and desktop versions, and they change maybe every 5, 7, 10 years. And then we have this new world, and we heard about this from Giorgio as well, with mobile applications that, well, today I could download the app for this conference and throw it away the next day and never use it again until next year when there's a new app. So the concept of speed of applications is really far-ranging. It can be, we build it in a few weeks to use for 2 days and throw it away. And you have something that I run nuclear power plants, and it runs on a mainframe system that has to stay up and is critically important. And so the idea that an enterprise is going to pick up all this and move it over here to the cloud and drop it all in one easy motion is ludicrous. It's crazy. So what Citrix is trying to do is build a solution that helps connect all these together, and your apps can run over here in the cloud and be fast and be mobile, native mobile application, or deliver a Windows app or a web app or a Linux desktop, move very fast. And if you have some over here that need to stay put and are really important and very dangerous to touch, that's okay too. We can give you one infrastructure to manage and orchestrate that across the board. And that's where we're trying to remove the complexity and give businesses the freedom to stay here or move here as quickly or as slowly as they want. And that's the vision we're trying to make a reality with the Citrix Cloud. So hopefully this gets an idea of the options in terms of any cloud and the idea of bringing any app or any data wherever it needs to be so that you can get work done very quickly. So we're trying to create, like I mentioned at the beginning, we need some heroes, right? Maybe you guys know that old song, I Need a Hero. But we really want to create heroes of this digital age to unlock the productivity that we really need so badly. And we think that between Citrix and you, the great partnership we can build, you can really use us as a tool to unlock that capability however you best need it in your organization. So we look forward to going on that journey with you and turning you into someone who can say yes and really unlock that digital transformation. So thank you very much for your time. Dankjewel. And